Kusangpo and welcome class 9 students to this lesson. Today you're going to learn about congruent triangles. Now, in this lesson what you're going to look at is different kinds of triangles, the concept of congruence and the law of congruence. You'll also learn to analyze and solve real life problems, and you'll also get chance to assess yourself on how much you have understood the lesson. Now, to go about with the lesson objectives, we have classified different types of triangles based on sides and angles. We also have explained the concept of congruence and its significance in geometry. Describe the conditions for triangle congruence. Apply the conditions of congruence to determine if two triangles are congruent or not. Solve real-life problems by analyzing and using congruent triangles in practical contexts. Now, what are the different types of triangles? They are categorized into two: bisides and biangle. So those triangles whose, whether it's two-dimensional or three-dimensional, if those two triangles are identical in size and shape, we call it as congruent triangles. And the symbol is, we write it like this. Now, the rules of congruent triangles. Number 1, side, side, side. So if all three sides of one triangle are equal to all three sides of another triangle, then we see that the two triangles are congruent. So look at this example, right? The two triangles are having the same sides, so that's why the two triangles are congruent. Rule number 2 says two angles same and a side equal. That means we also call those triangles as congruent triangles. So angle, angle, side. However, here you have to be careful with this keyword: two angles and the non-included side. So for example, if I'm taking a triangle, let's say EFG, and if I'm taking angle E, so I want to follow the rule AAS. So if my angle is angle E, I have a choice of taking the other angle as angle G or angle F. Now, if I took angle E, my options are angle F and angle G. So let's say I took angle G. So I took angle G. So then now my side would be not the side included inside the two triangle, but the other non-included. So which means it has to be side FG. So that's what we have to remember. Not included means not in between the angles, but the one which is not included. So then I compare with another triangle maybe, and let's name it as STU. So if I take, so see the 90-degree angle here, right? So that means it's equal to angle T. Then you have G, angle G is equal to angle S. So angle, the side would be SU. Those two. So that if I have this information, then I can conclude that the triangles are congruent. So now rule number 3, side, angle, side. So a side and consider one of the angle. If I consider this, then this would be the side which I have to consider. So this is side, angle, side. So here in the two triangles, side, angle, side, we have double dash, circle, and a single dash. So this indicates that the two triangles are congruent. And finally, the fourth rule is angle, side, angle. So if one angle, a side, and an angle, so here you'll notice that the side is included in between the two angles. So if this matches with the other triangle, then we conclude that the triangles are congruent. Now let's try out this concept with this example. For the triangles indicated, provide the conditions for congruence. Now you see there are two triangles here. So we have here triangle ABC, and I have here triangle DE and F. So when I observe these two triangles, I notice that my side AB has a single dash here, and the other triangle also have with side E have a single dash, so which indicates that these two sides are equal. Similarly, BC is equal to DE. And what about AC? You see 3 dash and 3 dash here, right? So this indicates that these two sides are also equal, hence fulfilling the rule SSS. Now, example number 2. For the triangles indicated, again provide the conditions for congruency. Now, to further enhance your understanding, maybe I'll also do this. So see, you have two triangles mentioned here as well. So one is ABE, another one is ED and C. The information given here is angle A dark circle, angle D also a dark circle. This indicates that angle A is equal to angle D, and the adjacent to this angle is a side AE, which is having a dash. Similarly, the dark circle angle has side ED also having an indication of a dash, so which means that AE is equal to ED. And then, since we know that opposite angles are always equal, we conclude that angle E equals to angle E, hence fulfilling the rule angle side angle. So you noticed here the two angle is including the side, so angle side angle. Now when you talk about congruent triangles, it doesn't mean that it's only restricted to triangles. We can have congruent shapes. However, let's narrow it down to congruent triangles. And for congruent triangles, where do we see in our real life? You might see it in the bridges, in the buildings, or even in our art designs. Now, to delve deeper into this, congruent triangles in bridges. Engineers use congruent triangles to design strong and stable bridges. Now, where did we find that? So if you look at this London Bridge, you will notice that the congruent triangles are used here, right? Two congruent triangles are used. I mean, there are a number of congruent triangles used here, right? Similarly, not in other countries. Right, in our country we have, if you notice a Mochu bridge, you will also observe that congruent triangles are being used. So whenever you are traveling, maybe you can look out for those. Now, congruent triangles in buildings. Architects uses congruent triangles to create symmetrical and aesthetically pleasing building designs. Now, where we have found out, so these are the few examples, you can explore more. So the famous Twin Tower in Malaysia, you will notice that congruent triangles are also used in the design of this building. Even in our country, this is located at Paro. You will see one of the cafe has this design where congruent triangles are used. And even in the houses made from Legos, you will notice that congruent triangles are being used. And like said, in the design of art also we tend to notice congruent triangles. So if you look at this first design, congruent triangles, second design as well, third, even in the designs here we notice that congruent triangles are being used. Now, you can check your understanding by solving few of the questions here provided. The key points from this lesson are: there are 6 types of triangles: obtuse, acute, right angle triangle, isosceles triangle, scalene, and equilateral. All congruent figures are similar, but not all similar triangles are congruent, which makes it very important for you to understand the meaning of congruent. Congruent means same, right? It has to have same shape and same size. And there are 4 conditions for triangles to be congruent. Number 1 is SSS, side side side, side angle side, angle side angle, and angle angle side. So thank you for being with me in this lesson.